I guess Xavier is exactly like me, enjoying August in some beautiful parts of the world. Where are you, Xavier?
I'm in the southwest of France. I tried to have a good lightning, but I didn't manage to be as good as you. I just look overexposed. So I'm in
No, it's good. It's good now. It's really good now, honestly.
I'm in the southwest of France. That's where I've got a double citizenship, Swiss and French. And this is where the family is. This is the family roots, if you want. So it's a nice old house that is behind me, and in front of me there is just an incredible view on the Auvergne and the Limousin. So that's where we come from, and I go there every once a year, a week every year, so that the kids get back to the roots and can understand what double citizenship can mean in terms of understanding, where you come from, where you go, and what are the duties and also rights and advantages of these two citizenship.
Absolutely. And Xavier, you are opening, you're smashing an open door, as we say in Italian, because I am in the same situation. I try to spend time in Italy in the summer with the kids. They have double citizenship as well. And it's so important. And how I know very well the area. I know a little bit the area of Limoges and the Limousin. I've been there. It was, it's a great place to be. Is it also for you? I was saying in my intro before, the summer is a little bit the excuse for me. I feel it like the end of the year. So the time where
totally, exactly. I was hearing you, couldn't connect. Yeah. Sorry for that. I got a new version of the app now, but it's absolutely this. It's a moment of setting back, and I think the major strategic decisions that they get taken at that moment, or the orientation, I would say, is taken at that moment, because we can see things much better by being far from the watch bench, if you want, for a few weeks, and understanding how our business is going, and what are the expectations of you guys who are listening to us from far away.
Absolutely. And when I look at I was in Tuscany until a few days ago, and when I look at the same view every year, I just think, I wonder what I will be thinking next year when I'm in front of the same view. Does it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it happen?
I was just trying to get better lighting.
Yeah. When you look at the view and you think about the same view last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where Czapek was in a very different place to where Czapek is today, would you have imagined to find yourself where you are today, personally and with Czapek Genève?
Not at all. We are an old lady and a startup at the same time in Czapek. So the big challenge was to respect Czapek and to make Czapek live as if he was young again with us, taking these decisions. But at the same time, we were a startup. And we made a business plan, and everybody knows business plans are never followed. But it's not that people don't try to follow the business plans. It's just that life is not like a business plan. And so we planned, to have a growth. I thought it's going to be like this, for you, so like that, a regular growth. And in fact, we grow quickly to 100 pieces. And then from 100 pieces, we grow slowly to 150, 160, something like that. And then suddenly, boom, I'm over the head of Pietro now, at the top. And it took us really in a few months. So we were not prepared for that. I mean, we were expecting that, but you never prepared like that, because you feel, okay, that's a mountaineering word, but we feel like under an avalanche. So we were in a hut, and the avalanche came on us. And so during the day, we've been taking out the snow. We went to bed, and in the morning, another avalanche of work, and every day. Absolutely. And we feel like there is more and more, and it's never stops. So after digging the snow for the last 15 months, it's time to make a few more decisions and to grow the company, not to a big company, but to a slightly bigger company, so that we can handle much better all the requests that we receive worldwide.
And this is a bit the mirror of what's happening in the world of independent watchmaking. I can tell you from our viewpoint, we represent over 30 brands in the world of independence, and we have seen a growth like never before. It is amazing that independent watchmaking is becoming the way for mechanical watchmaking to remain an important form of art, you know, rather than, of course, industrial and commercial venture. What was the breaking point for you? Of course, was the launch of the Antarctique and the launch of your first in-house caliber, the SX H5. Do you recognize that, or do you think that was just it happened at a lucky time for you, and it propelled a growth that was already there?
It's a conjunction. It's an alignment of planets. So I fell on a note that was from the early 2018. A note on my iPhone. I use iPhone notes to drop a lot of ideas I got during the night. And sometimes urgent actions. And in that note, there was the principle of the Antarctique, you know, all the elements that of the beginning. And so in the end, the Antarctique was the fruit of a lot of meetings with a lot of different watch collectors. And the whole idea was, we want a watch for every day. We want a watch that is so chic that we can wear it with a suit, but we want a watch that is so resistant that we can do whatever we want and wherever we want, on the beach, everywhere. And that was the first thing. And the second thing, it's a pity because all the movements in the market, they hide everything. They have a big rotor, and we hardly see the escapement. And it's a pity because it's our favorite watch, usually, or it's the most worn watch, and it's the one that is showing the less or the least of haute horlogerie. And we thought, okay, let's take the opposite, and let's conceive a watch that is really haute horlogerie and really resistant and sporty. And that was the Antarctique. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and the watch I'm wearing, by the way, is a prototype that is not commercialized yet. You know? So,
be careful. Be careful showing prototypes because you know what happens with that.
Yeah, I know, but it's okay. People have seen me in the waves of the Atlantic of the Basque Country, trying it in the water, in the hot water.
Nice one.
Yeah, the waves of the Atlantic. The point was, we had that movement. March 23rd comes in, and everything gets locked down in Switzerland. We have the right to work. We have the right to work in our atelier because everybody understands that this cannot be done by home office work. But around us, most of the guys are closed. And so Aurélien was open and another few small companies. The small companies were open. Sometimes there was only the owner, you know, who was open. His team was home. But then we could really continue to work like that. So I became a sort of a driver, taking my components from one place to another and moving things forward now. And so from a launch that was supposed to be end March, we moved to end April and then end May. And then in end May, the day we launched the Antarctique, there was absolutely no one. All the big groups had, shut down everything, no launch. Everybody was very attentist, very much waiting for what was going on. And nobody was taking the risk of going out. So the day we launched, which was May 26th, 2020, it was a boulevard for us. There was no one. So we were the only news in the watch blogs, in the watch industry.
Yeah, remember, we were talking about it every day, weren't we, as well?
Exactly. So that's thanks to this support and thanks to this absence on the other side that we could reach many more people that we used to. And the watch was the right watch at the right moment. So if you want, it's a matter of, that's why I told you.
That was a key time. Xavier, that was a key time because we found that people in those days when there was nothing else, if anything, they needed their passions to stay alive. And so talking about watches became not only okay, but it became a very nice thing to do, to try to slow down, the stress of the situation that we were immersed in at the time. So it was the right thing to do in retrospective.
Absolutely. But in that moment, we were not sure about that. And we have built a company because we were crowdfunded. We are crowdfunded. We have 200 shareholders. So the structure of the governance in the company is probably more advanced than in other companies of our size, because we still remain very small and making a few billions per year in sales. So it's if we compare, how much people speak about us and how big we are, it's really like we're talking about a mice, or we're talking about David, and the Goliaths are very numerous and very big compared to us. So it's a ratio of 1 to 1,000 sometimes when we speak about someone. So it's interesting to see this importance in terms of governance, because the whole board was behind the decision of moving forward and accelerating. It was really a matter of, what should we do? Should we be prudent and wait, or should we move forward and accelerate? And that was the decision we took. Move forward, accelerate. And at the end, the saying that says, fortune favors the brave, it was right.
Yeah,
Hello?
so you have been non-arrogant as well, which is the key, because it would be easy for you to launch a quick round of 20 pieces, 40 pieces, 50 pieces. They're gonna get sold out overnight. But you've never done that. Starting from the first Antarctique Terre d'Adélie that was sold, you've always given collectors the time to think, to consider, to study, to understand, which is where the real fun happens for collectors. I can't tell you how many complaints we have from collectors for brands that do overnight subscriptions where people don't even have the time anymore. The only time you have is to find all your credit cards, to line them up at night and try to get the piece before you even process the piece in your mind. You've been very, very clever with that. You've gone at a good pace, but always giving the time for collectors to enjoy the purchase even before the purchase happened. Was this a clear plan you had, or did it just happen naturally?
No, we try to treat people with the way we like to be treated. That's a very simple rule.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
whenever we have a doubt, we just try to switch seats. And this started really at the very beginning. I remember the first time we were seated with Sebastian and Harry. We were in the late 2013, and we were talking about our initial shareholder agreement between the three of us. And our Andreas, our lawyer, designed a document for us, to agree on. And we have only we have no language that we have the same, So Sebastian speaks German and French. I speak French and English, and Harry speaks English and German. Right. So that was difficult meeting at 3. But everything went smooth because the document was made so that everyone can feel good reading it and feel I'm respected in my objectives, in my aspirations, sensitivity. And this is the way we like to be. We don't think there is a way to think you're going to stay long with someone and sleep in bed with him or her and then pull every night the sheets on your side. Don't do that. Just respect people and they respect you in return. So we try to do that, and we try to listen. We try to listen to that. And that's also why actually I decided to show this watch on my own Instagram, on the Czapek in My Eyes Instagram, to start saying to people, this is coming. So if you like that one, prepare yourself. It's not ready yet because we want to do a double launch at the same time. In 2 sizes, so that's the news of the day for you, Pietro. I always have a little gift for you because you're a friend. So it's also good to make gifts for friends. So yes, we're gonna launch a smaller Antarctique, a 38 millimeter, and we will launch the same dial in the 2 sizes. So this is the way we proceed. We try to.
And the name of this one?
It's difficult to define because initially, we were thinking about ice blue, which has become recently a very common name. So we need to find a different ones. And iceberg blue is a bit maybe too obvious to, I don't know. Maybe it will be iceberg blue. It's a nice name anyway.
Very good. Very good. Perfect. And I can only give you credit for the work that you've done. We have had a reasonable success at the limited edition as well, supporting you. with the different launches, and quite a few collectors decided to embrace the project. And of course, some of them are waiting for their timepieces. So we are following with passion the blog that you very cleverly set out. There is a Antarctique blog, which is curated by yourself and by Pierre as well in Geneva. Pierre is great in keeping us all updated. I know you've been working on improving the SXH5 day after day. Where are you standing at the moment, and when you think the bulk of the deliveries will happen at this moment in time?
So now most of the orders that are coming in now are pushed toward 2022. The reason is because we have so many orders, and we have one operation that have been already planned with a partner, and even if people don't know about it, but I've seen the question, so I will give some highlights without showing it, but explaining what it will be. We keep some reserve in terms of production capacity so that we can manage these launches, and so a new entry today would be pushed toward 2022. We are going to grow the capacity of the company, probably to be able to double it from 200 watches to 400, 500 watches. This will be the plan, and this should normally allow us to cover much better the situation now of having too much demand for the capability we have. We have taken some tough decisions, so we have decided, for example, not to open new retailers. Because only the ones that we are talking to for some time to make sure that we serve correctly people. We've decided not to make discounts on the watch also, because we thought, okay, look, I mean, there are people who are hunting for discounts, but let these people wait. I don't know for how long, but the ones who are ready to buy without discounts, that they should be. And then it's also nice for the people who have bought without discounts since the beginning. So, you know, why should... So we've been really strict on saying now, 0 discounts, it's like this, and there is no question about that. I'm thinking maybe I'm shooting in my feet, so some people reading us will think, there was a discount possible. No.
In the long run,
we know what happens in the stores. We know what happened in the stores, and sometimes there is a client that has been here for years, and he's got always a 10%, and then in that case, well, no, not anymore. That's a strict rule. So we've been taking this decision to try to funnel the volume.
You're well set up not to grow based on filling up stores in the world, but to grow proportionally to the demand, which is the key that makes a brand sustainable in the long run, I guess.
Thanks. We were trying to do that, and we're growing also the atelier, but we'll keep the location between Le Locle and La Chaux-de-Fonds, because this is also nice to be capable to walk actually to your partners, and it's critical for us to be very, very close. And the new, so a little bit of heads up also on the movement. We're starting now the series number 2 of the SXH5 of the caliber 5, making a few modifications. So some of these modifications will be implemented also on the first series when we can. It's
you were explaining in the blog. You were explaining in the blog. Very interesting.
We feel it's normal. It's logic. We are making an improvement. We are within the warranty. We are at a moment of birth, and there is always a lot of touching point where we can do a small improvement. So whenever people will do their servicing or will ask, we will upgrade the watch. And then we are working on the third version that we will launch also probably in 2022. With a new concept about the reverser, etc. So it's an ongoing system. It's a bit like when you were buying a Porsche in the 90s or in the 80s. You knew that the next Porsche would have something, and the next one would have something, and then there's one day you have to take your decision. You know? So you can wait or you can decide. And then in terms of dials, we're going to play with colors. So we have a few colors in mind and some logical colors that have to come. So there will be one day a salmon, but probably next year. There is this very light blue that is beautiful, incredible. And there will be with a different design. So this is a design that we call a Stairway to Eternity. That is very geometric. And there will be a design that will be more plain, without being totally plain. Not lamé either, but something different. That will be in off-white. Okay, so that's for the fall of this year. So when people have to make the decision, they can wait for a limited edition that is for a famous blog, or for this blue that will come, I think, around November. And
Very good.
And then on August 30th, we're going to launch our first complication on the Antarctique, which has been a little bit unveiled through Only Watch. We have unveiled the designs, the drawings of this complication. It's a chronograph rattrapante, open work. So it's a chronograph that is in two parts, unlike the Faubourg de Cracovie, which is an integrated chronograph. Here there are two parts. The part in the bottom is the power horse, power caliber, and the part in the top is we've been working on that idea since 2015, and we regularly failed to make it happen until today.
Make sure you send us the information, because I know you're on holiday, and I suppose your staff is on holiday as well. So we need to have the information between August 13, because August 13 is tomorrow, basically.
No, August 30. 30.
30. Okay. 30. Okay, good.
Not tomorrow.
Good.
Not tomorrow. Good. That's for the Geneva days. We're going to launch it in the Geneva days. Sorry, I'm a bit sneezing. It was cold, warm. So I got a little summer cold, and I speak a lot with the nose. So the rattrapante is a split second chronograph, and the concept was to have the movement and the beauty of the movement, the beauty of the levers moving, of the hammer moving, shown on the dial side. And we were working on that in 2015, but then we were trying to make a standard chronograph. And the problem was that the cost of doing such a movement with such a work for an independent was meaning that we were supposed to probably deliver 1,000 chronographs, which was totally outside our capability. And that's why we failed in different times, until we changed slightly the brief, and we said, okay, instead of doing a standard chronograph, let's do a split-second chronograph. So we can have a more sophisticated piece. It means a higher price, but it also means that we can do a smaller series. And so the first series will be 50 watches, and in total it will be 3 series of 50 watches that we'll do over the next 3 years for this chronograph.
Very good. I can't wait to see it. And thank you, because it was one of my questions on the complication side. What was going to be launched? And another question was, I learned from your blog again. I suggest everybody to tune in on the Antarctique blog. Really informative and very always up to date with the latest from Czapek. You have a strong concept at Czapek, which is very much rooted with the origins of watchmaking, which is one watchmaker per watch. So ideally you would like one watchmaker to work on a single watch. So every time there is a service to be made, every time there is something to be discovered about that watch, you know exactly who is responsible for the putting together that watch. Is it something you're gonna carry on doing for the future?
Yes. It's a matter of it's a matter of organizing the work. So basically, the watchmaker makes 10 movements, and then he does the assembly final assembly, l'emboîtage, final casing of each of his 10 movements, one by one. And then it starts again, 10 movements, and then assembly of 10 movements one by one. It's a huge advantage also in terms of probably we will give all the Emerald iceberg, for example, that you're waiting for delivery, and they are in progress just right now. And so it's Julian who is going to make them all, you know. So we know if there is something happening with Emerald iceberg, okay, Julian, we have a problem with that watch. Can you have a look, etc. So it's much easier also in terms of managing. It makes no sense for a big watchmaker because it's taking more time of organization. But then again, if we put our feet into the shoes of the watch lover, it's nice for him to think that there has been only one watchmaker doing everything.
Absolutely. It is an additional element that I can tell you from the collector's perspective is very much appreciated because he roots watchmaking to what watchmaking should be, a form of art of one artist, you know, working on a mechanical piece. And so can you make a small commitment on the delivery for the Passage de Drake and for the Emerald Green by September, October?
So no, Emerald Iceberg, we should have the first.
Sorry, Emerald Iceberg. Sorry.
The first 8 pieces should be ready in a week. That's the plan. So at the end of next week, I was exchanging with Julian. He started the casing this week after the running in. So we've got 2 weeks of running in the middle. So that's why the work has to be done also this way. So it's a lot about processes. And he's starting the casing this week. I think he will have finished the casing this week. We'll do the testing. We know that he had 10 to make, but 2 main plates were not perfect. So they are going back into production and then cleaned and radiated. And then the next 8 will be probably delivered by the end of the month. And the following ones will come during September. Okay.
That's perfect. I'm in a hurry with the customer.
Watch underdog. No, the Emerald Iceberg was a varnished, varnished dial. So it was very wow. It was incredible. It was more emerald. This kind of green, so a natural green. More like a rainforest green, very impactful, very intense. It's called Emerald Iceberg because there are some icebergs which are green like that because they are mostly made of water with elements of under the sea, and this little algae are making it green. And Fratello green is more a blue-green or green-blue, closer to the actually totally by chance. It's the same kind of green as the Aston Martin Formula One for the one who would like to follow Formula One green. So it's a nice modern green, but more into blue tones.
Yeah. And yes, Xavier, the next question would be I pick up on a question we had here from from Watches and Words, actually. There was another one from the Irish watch guy, but yeah, Watches and Words saying, I mean, you have been living, and we have been living humbly, this great success because we decided to bet on independent watchmaking as we thought in the long run, if there is a way for the art of watchmaking to thrive, it is in the hands of the ones that still treat it as a human form of art, and these are the independents. So you're living a great time, but of course the watch industry per se is not living a great time at all. You know, for the industrial watchmakers, the big corporations, the big brands, times are far from being very, very, very fruitful. So Watches and Words is asking, is there anything in the watch business you can change? If there is anything you would change, what would it be? A sort of a kind of a suggestion to the world of watchmaking to find the roots again.
Be true to yourself, always. Be true to yourself. That's the only way. Yeah. We're small, we are not perfect, but we like to work and we like to what we do. It's fantastic to work in watchmaking. It's a gift, you know. So respect that gift And don't milk the cow. Do beautiful watches. Spend the money to develop, to design. Never give up. We work so much, you know, on design with Adrian, our designer. It's if we are not extraordinarily happy, then we work again. You know, and that's in the end the reward is coming from you guys, because when you come and buy the watches in such a speed, we know, okay, we did it right. Thanks, fantastic. We've got the reward for our work, and that's enough for us. You know, it's so yeah. Be true to yourself. Don't try to be what you are not, and don't try to fool people. Just be honest and do it. Just aiming at the best. You know, be ambitious, but for overpassing the mountains, you know, and we all know that going at the top of the mountain is always painful and hard. So it's not about arrogance, but it's a lot about, you know, trying to overpass yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there is, there is a lot to be said. There are some extreme stories at the moment. I don't know if you read on the Periscope blog, which is one of the blogs I like to take a look at, although it's specialized in vintage Rolexes, which is not our field at all. But there are some cool insights in the world of watchmaking, and this big thing that happened with some movements that were commercialized by a big group, and they were supposed to be or advertised as in-house, and then in the end they were ETA modified movements. This is something that damages not only the the brand itself, but the credibility and reputation of the world of watchmaking. So truthness, as you're saying, is really the key. You know, to keep the trust and to keep the passion in the eyes of the collectors that put big money on what brands do. I think we come to an end. Xavier, thank you for your time. I know you're on a holiday. Can I try to snatch from you a last promise? Because I know there has been a big block also on straps for a long time because of COVID. This has been very, very critical in a way. Are you seeing a good flow on the straps as well, on the leather straps and the personalized leather strap? What would be your policy for personalized leather straps?
Sorry. First of all, sorry.
No. Don't say that.
I mean, I don't know if they. I don't see cows, but there are cows usually here, and there is no reason why we should not have leather straps. It's been a mess, and we're really sorry for the delays on getting leather straps. Jean Rousseau in France, which is a great strap maker, got the same thing as we got. So he got requests from everywhere, and they got a little bit disorganized, and everything got delayed. So we're still into this, you know. So we were starting to get the first deliveries, and then everything stopped. So the blue straps, we're still waiting for them for 3 months now. They should come in. So things are a little bit getting better, also because let's be honest, it's happening today in the commodity business. It's happening today in a lot of different parts of the business. If you want to buy a fridge in this region of France, you just have to take the ones that are exposed. You cannot order anything for less than 6 months. Everything is a bit chaotic, and the Swiss industry was chaotic. It was chaotic also, and here I'm going to be clear with the big groups. It was chaotic also because these big groups have closed everything down, and then when they have come back because the demand was growing, they came into our small partners, slam the fist on the table and say, I want to be delivered first, you know. And the guys, they know that they are going to work with 3 brands that represent a huge volume compared to a small Czapek or another of our beloved other independent makers, you know, independent brands. And this has created even more chaos, you know, by having some people, doubling, passing, etc. So I think this is going to be in order by the end of the year. So we're still going to suffer a little bit of that in 2021. And that in 2022, things will come a little bit more organized. So that we will have less of an unclear perspective about deliveries. Our second series, we were supposed to get the components early May. We got them early July. 2 months. It's crazy. That means we made an order 6 months in advance and we got delivered after 8 months. This is not a normal situation. So we hope that the situation will improve and we're working on growing our capacity of buying. So we have to buy more, which means we need more cash to buy more, which means we were discussing with the bank, and the bank is supporting us, so it's good during the months of May and June to get the capability to actually buy components for a year, of production. So for 300 or 400, so that we don't get stuck the way we have been stuck in the past. And I understand it's very painful not to be capable to say to someone, hey, we are sure to get everything. No, we are not sure because we're still missing one or two components. And I'm still missing one or two components to finish the some of the series. But I know that with what we have, we can do the ones in the pipeline and deliver, I would say, most of it by the end of September.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Xavier, and thank you.
And let me show you a little bit something, a little thing that is also a prototype, but that is here. This is something that a lot of people have been waiting for, and this is still the prototype. It's still big. It will be smaller.
The micro adjustment
of them. The
micro
adjustment. You see?
Amazing.
And it's really nice. It's really fitting nice on the wrists. So
when is it coming?
Sorry? By the end of the year.
When will it come? Wow.
It will be coming by the end of the year, and it will be relatively simple to do, to change. So if people have bought the old one, so that's the position, that's the standard position, and if you press, it's hard to do it online. Should have repeated these things. Okay. Bon, okay, that's it. Okay, here we are now. It's open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
So we will replace them and at cost price. So the idea is that if people have to change, it's only that part to change, the butterfly part.
You're making somebody very happy. You're making somebody very happy here, huh? Xavier, our doctor is online, and he was waiting for both the leather and the micro adjustment as well. So it's
excellent.
It's
so the leather by the end of August, and the micro adjustment by the end of the year.
Okay.
Sorry.
Bless you. And Xavier, a couple of quick questions. Watch Underdog is asking, are there complications like a GMT or annual calendar in the pipeline?
That will come later on. Annual calendar is a logical evolution. GMT is also one. We're also thinking about a world timer, rather than a GMT. So these are a natural evolution of the watch. We just need to be cautious about what we develop and at what stage. I'm for the moment focusing on the simple one, because and we'll speak again about that by the end of the year, once we've done a test of changing even further the concepts, because we have something very strong with the caliber 5, and we see the way to make it even better, and it's so it's good to work when you've got a diamond, to shape it the nicest way possible before making the rest of the the high jewelry piece. Okay.
Very good. Perfect, Xavier. Listen, I've taken far much of your time, so thank you very much. I hope you keep enjoying the Limousin in your holidays, and we will try not to bother you too much. But if we can help of generating some good ideas, just let us know, because we love doing that as well.
Always. It always comes from these exchanges, that. That's why I love that. And even on vacation, I don't take anyone except you. So you've got a special treat.
Very good. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Xavier.
Brilliant.
Thanks for all the insights you've given us. This is very, very
say goodbye with a little view behind.
Amazing.
Bye-bye, Pietro.
Take care. Thank you so much. All the best. Bye-bye. Bye.